Have your class book and equipment ready. Lay your work out in your book as the exemplar in your house planner, ensuring you have a clear date and title. Take notes as you go through the lesson. In the Your Turn section, show full workings as modelled by your teacher. Listen to the instructions and pause when asked to complete your work. Then press play to mark your work and continue with the lesson. If there are any sections you don't understand, contact your class teacher for support.
In this lesson we'll be using Pythagoras to calculate unknown sides, focusing only on the hypotenuse. You will need to make sure that you have a calculator ready to hand. There will be extension questions in the video, so make sure that you pace yourself, and if you get stuck at any point you ask your teacher for support. Here are the key words that we'll be using in this lesson. These are notes that you should have in your book already. When we refer to screen sizes, we're actually referring to the length of the diagonal of the screen, which, if we're looking at that as a triangle, would be our hypotenuse. Press pause and then press play, and work on the question in your books, and press play when you're ready to mark. And here we can see the answer is 50 inches, so often they're still done in imperial units. So in inches, and you might have recognised that it's a scalar of the 3, 4, 5 Pythagorean triple, so each of the side lengths have been multiplied by 10, so you might have been able to do this without using the formula. I'll put a little twist to this question because now I'm looking at a rectangle, so it would help you to maybe draw the line AC in to help you think about this question and decide where Sunita has made a mistake, and press pause and think about that, and then press play when you're ready to check. And here she's done a mistake on the first step, because AC is the hypotenuse. If we split that rectangle into two triangles, we should be adding the sum of the square of the two shorter sides. Now let's really deepen your understanding, making sure that you check the properties of triangles. Have a look at this question. Now this time they're asked to leave in surd form, and what that means is leave it as a square root. So your calculator always leaves the answers in square root, so you don't have to press the S to D button to turn into a decimal. Write down exactly what it says in your calculator. Okay. If you have a calculator that goes to decimals, then you might want to do the calculations for all the stages till you get to the square root point in your calculator first, instead of doing the option where you do it all in one go. Press pause and then play when you're ready to mark. And the answer is the square root of 2, because it's the sum of the square of the two shorter sides. 1 squared is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and we square it to the end, square root of 2. And here's another deepening question where I put into a context. Find the length of one side of the red square, and I want to leave it in exact form. That's another way of saying leave it in surd form. Press pause and then play when you're ready to mark. And here we can see we've got 1, 2, 3 units across. So my short side is 3, the other short side is 1. So when I sum the square of the two shorter sides, I get 10. So the side length of the square is the square root of 10. It's a very typical exam question. It might help for you to sketch it out if you want, and press pause, and when you're ready to mark, press play. And here are the answers. And you can see I've done a little handy sketch to make it easier to understand and label my side lengths. And I can see that the ladder is 2.6 meters. I've chosen to round it to 1 decimal place because the value that I was given in the question was given to 1 decimal place too. So now we're going to look at another context. We're we're going to look at this triangle. I've been asked to calculate the value of AB. The first thing to note is the type of triangle it is. These lines here on the sides indicate that the lengths are the same, therefore it's an isosceles triangle. I've been given the perpendicular height, and actually that line here is my line of symmetry, so I can cut this in half. So although it doesn't look like I can apply trigonometry, if I split the triangle in half, then I can use that to find an unknown side length. Now let's double check our notation. So it says the value of AB, that's the line going from vertex A to vertex B, so I'm going to highlight that. That's what we're trying to find. Now if I split this triangle in half, that means my base will be half the width if I'm just looking at a right angle triangle, so it'll be 5 centimeters. Now I'm focused on the information I've got and that I can apply Pythagoras Theorem. I'm going to write down the formula, then I'm going to substitute my values in. The two shorter sides will be the perpendicular height of this isosceles triangle and half the base, so it'll be 8 and 5. So I'm going to substitute those in to my formula, and then my side length I'm trying to find, AB, I'm just going to leave that as a notation, AB. Next, let's work these out. So 8 squared is 64, 5 squared is 25, and if I add those together I get 89. Now that's the square of the side AB. To find the side length I need to square root, and let's check our rounding. It's to 2 decimal places, so the square root of 89 to 2 decimal places is 9.43, and don't forget the units, centimetres, and then I will state my rounding after. Now there's a chance for you to have a go with your turn on the right hand side. Don't forget to model each stage of workings and add extra notes that will support you for your practice next. Press pause and then play when you're ready to go through and check your workings. Let's have a look then. So the first thing we need to work out is half of the base. Yours was labelled X, so there's no problem indicating which side we're trying to find. We're going to focus on our formula. The two short sides are 3 and 6. So we're going to square those and add them together, which comes to 45. And then to find the side length, instead of the square of the side length, we'll square root. And 2 decimal places, that is 6.71, noting that your units were in millimetres. And here are some twisted questions where I put them into context. Keep an eye on the time, you might not have time to do both of them. Press pause, work on one in your book, and then press play when you're ready to mark. And here are the answers. The second one was a little bit tricky because you had to then go on and find out the perimeter. And if you have time, you really want to deepen your understanding of Pythagoras, here's a question for you to work on. Press pause, work in your book, be conscious of your time, press play when you're ready to mark. And here are the answers. And this is the end of the lesson. Check with your teacher for independent work that you have to do next.